Hello and welcome here in Kepler's garden in Linz, Austria, the place where the Ars Electronica 2020 edition is taking place. We would like to introduce you and invite you in a little journey where we want to show you the main elements of this year's festival.
The main elements are different parts of exhibition projects. We have the Starts Prize winners, the best what this combination of art and technology for the benefit of society can offer. Then we have the projects coming from the university. And besides this, we have a garden exhibition of an incredible range of artworks that are exhibited, not inside, but outside.
Yes, and many different aspects are there to find. One main aspect is Create Your World, which is the festival for the younger generation. What they are going to do there is not to exhibit in the traditional sense. They are actually exhibiting themselves. They are using this festival in this time of a pandemic to meet for a social gathering. And then we have the LIT projects, a collaboration between the local institutions and the creatives, artists from outside. With those, we want to show that there are alternative ways for creating innovation.
Exactly, and then the garden exhibition. So this is the third part of the trias of those exhibition projects. And they give an additional, not just an aesthetic aspect, but also quite a humoristic one. When you walk through the parks, when you meander around the buildings, and you find artwork that highlight very ecological topics, very pressing ones, but also have a charm in the way they introduce those topics. And as as the last part, actually, we have an insight into our online festival, into the world of the more than 120 partners.
Yes, and back to the place. This all is happening in quite a wonderful place. If you remember back where the last edition took place, in the cool environment of this post-industrial, post-city, we landed now in a wonderful environment, close to nature, close to the elements, close to rain, and we hope you enjoy this.
We are in the Science Park of the Kepler University, amidst the building of Exposed Building, the artwork that is created by the Institute of Network and Security, represented by Michael Roland and with a lead artist called Michael Meyer. They created a sound sculpture, and the whole building actually is the artwork.
Yes, an entire building, one artwork. What is this? What the guys did is that they simply hacked the lock systems of the entire door system here in the house. And if you don't have this in mind, every opening of a door means that you have this beep sound, a little MIDI sound, in closing and opening. So if you put that in the right musical context, you have an instrument. This is not just a playful instrument what we have in front of us. It is also very critical but poetic insight into the world that surrounds us with technology. It is an insight into the topics of privacy.
Exactly, and the interesting part is that you can create, of course, this beeping sound, but they were able to not just hack the locks, but actually find out that those locks have different sound qualities, and thereby really create an instrument, an orchestra, when you walk through that building that you can experience.
And we have it to do with a wonderful sample where a local institute of the JKU University is in collaboration with creative minds from outside, and the wonderful result is in front of us. So we are here on the next step of our journey through the Kepler's garden, through our curated exhibition here on site in Linz. This is Science Park 1. Another place that is actually a place for the many, many different institutes the JKU University has. We meshed this area up curatorial-wise with art projects that are kind of in a counterbalance or are in dialogue with the local institute's research topics. Many of those are opening their laboratories and give insight into projects that are developed under the flag of the LIT projects. You know, these collaborations with third persons coming from the art and culture area. There is a magic dart machine where you would, whatever happens, not fail. And there is a bicycle that would, whatever come, not fall over, and many, many others. But now a focus on this beautiful art piece where we are currently standing, and Crystal is going to explain this a little bit.
We're standing underneath Pluvial, an artwork from Kerstin Ergänzinger. And this art project is actually part of the AI Music Festival that we are lucky to host a second time again this year. And what you can hear is rain falling on us. Rain generated through data that was taken from the amount and the strength of rain that is falling onto the oceans around the world. And it is a generative artwork that is controlled by this data, but it is mechanical, it's not electrical, and you can see the strings that are made out of nitriol that lengthen or shorten based on the electricity signal that comes through them. And those 80 drums are then controlled by the strings and generate their sound based on those data every time new.
We are now on our way back from Science Park 1 and Science Park 2 and make a stop here underneath the bridge. Underneath the bridge we have positioned rather provocative and interesting project from actually the Staatspreis. And it is about Paolo Sirio, who is a very well-known artist in the legacy of Ars Electronica, especially of the pre-Ars Electronica. He's a Golden Nika winner there.
But being presented here within the section of the Staatspreis actually gives it the project and the artist also a completely different legacy, especially looking at the topic that is represented here. Staatspreis is situated at this nexus of art, science, technology, and especially the industry and innovation. And talking here about patents, about surveillance, about those topics is again a completely different level.
It's a different level, and as Paolo Sirio has always been a complete different level, a specific category where with his critical mindset he always was able to put exactly the finger on the point where us as citizens we give in a rather uncritical mindset our data into social software, into Facebook and so on and so on.
Exactly.
And he is raising his voice and his finger to create awareness about ourselves and our privacy.
Exactly, and what he actually did is he downloaded 20 different patents from Google Patents. 20,000 different, of course. And he made them available on a website that he created specifically for this. And he is pointing out especially patents that are attacking in the end our society, that are surveying us as citizens, that are using our data, and therefore, we as citizens, as society, should look at this rather critically, making sure that our privacy is safe.
So we are here on the next stop on our journey, on our tour through the Kepler's garden. It is the so-called Lui. What we have around us is actually the natural circumstances, the habitat of media art needs. Darkish, silent, cool. Behind us, there is a nice sample of an art piece from a local artist. Her name is Marlene Reichel. And Crystal, will you introduce us?
Well, it's a morphing tree, as you can see, and the artwork very much reflects on this idea that should we believe what we always see? Should we believe of kind of the reality that we are confronted in, or should we actually think about changing some of those topics? Some of those things, especially reflecting now on the topic of climate crisis, the topic of ecology, that is a very important one, not just in this work, but in many others of the physical works that are presented here, but also of the international ones.